Hola, hola a todos. Bienvenidos otra vez. Welcome back. En esta lección número 6 en Panorama, vamos a estar hablando de some of your favorite pastimes, ir de compras, to go shopping. So we're going to look at today just some vocabulary words associated with clothing and other things you might buy, as well as vocabulary associated with shopping in stores and things like that. So first thing, let me just remind you, is the verb to go shopping is ir, ir, right, to go, ir de compras. Comprar means to buy, but to go shopping is ir de compras. And you just conjugate ir. So yo voy de compras, tú vas de compras, usted, ella va de compras, etc. Okay, so these vocabulary words are right from Panorama. There is a list here of the words that are on page, I don't even remember, page 176 maybe. And then some variación léxica. So I just want to talk about a couple of these, and then the next slide, I have them broken down more into categories with some of the words from the picture. So when you go into Panorama, there's this white list of vocabulary that you see there, the variación léxica underneath that. Then there's a big two-page spread picture of words, vocabulary words inside the context of a store. So in the next page, I've combined some of those. The variación léxicas, again, just means things that you may hear the same word in English used differently in different Spanish-speaking countries. So calcetín, for example, is a common way of saying socks, but in some countries they'll say medias. In some countries, medias is hose, like pantyhose. So calcetín, medias, both mean socks in different contexts. Cinturón is a word for belt. And cintura is the anatomical word for waist. And so cinturón goes around your waist, therefore it's a word for a belt. But in Colombia and Venezuela, they said correa. Correa in other countries is just a word for a cord. So if you think of, in some countries, even in the US up to recently, it was more common just to take a rope and tie that around your waist for a belt. That's where it comes from, correa. Gafas or lentes both mean glasses. Gafas is a pretty fancy word. Lentes means lenses, and so that's a much more common word. But in some countries, in the islands, in Puerto Rico and Cuba, they'll say espejuelos. And in Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and South America, they'll say anteojos. Ante meaning before, and ojos, eyes, so the things that go before your eyes or in front of your eyes. So lentes, I think that's very common everywhere. Gafas, not so common, mostly in Spain. But then anteojos in South America. And then zapatos. Zapatos means shoes. Zapatos de tenis is a way of saying tennis shoes, but that specifically means more like your shoes to actually play tennis. So here we say tennis shoes, whether you're running or jumping or playing football. Zapatos de tenis, more specifically for playing tennis. So in España, they say zapatillas de deporte. In Argentina, Peru, and parts of Paraguay, they say zapatillas. But in other countries, zapatillas means slippers. So again, the whole point is you'll recognize the word. It has zapatos in it, and you'll know. Some countries just say tenis, just like we do for tennis shoes. So no te olvides de tus tenis, bring your tenis. Okay, so we're going to skip this slide, but this is where it's found in Panorama. And like I said, I broke it down into a couple different categories for you. So we're going to talk about words for clothing on the left and words that you would use in the store on the right. So you'll have to learn these. It's all vocabulary at this point. You're familiar with that, but I have ever sneezed on Zoom before. So I want you to hear the pronunciation. So I'll go through and say these. Hopefully you're, again, utilizing all of your senses by listening, hearing, listening, speaking, writing, reading at the same time. That's the very best way to learn, to internalize it. But we'll go through. So I'll ask you to repetir. Se repitan. El sombrero, hat. Los lentes. La corbata, a tie. La camisa, a shirt. El traje is a suit, like a two-piece suit or even a dress suit, pantsuit for a woman. El vestido, dress. La blusa is a blouse. And for a woman, there'd be a camisa, but you think of your mom or your grandma wearing a blouse, or you wear a blouse when you go to church or dress up. There's a difference between a blouse and a shirt, right? So a woman can also have a camisa, but a blusa is more of a formal, dressy type of shirt. Camiseta is a word for a t-shirt. Pantalones, pants. Pantalones cortos, shorts. You'll also hear, especially in Mexico, people say los shorts, as shorts. So as a word for shorts. Los jeans, blue jeans. La falda, falda means skirt. Falda also anatomically in Spanish means lap. And so for a woman, traditionally, was a clothes that covered her lap. It's falda. You also had mini falda, is a word for mini skirt. Chaqueta, jacket, and that's actually the Spanish form of the English word jacket. That's how it sounds like it's pronounced in Spanish, chaqueta. Abrigo is a coat, a thick coat like you all would wear in Idaho. I here in Arizona do not have an abrigo. I have no use for one. I do, however, have use for a traje de baño. Again, traje means suit. Baño means bath or bathroom. So bathing suit basically is what it is. So a swimming suit. Ropa interior. So ropa means clothing. Interior, interior, for underclothes or underwear. And again, it's really the whole category of underwear. Like it doesn't mean a pair of chonis or a pair of briefs or boxers. It's referring to underclothing as opposed to one article of underwear. El par, Pierre, we've had that word before, it just means a pair. So you use that with these following words. Calcetines, socks. Medias, socks or hose. Los zapatos. Las sandalias. And la bota or las botas. So you have un par de calcetines, un par de medias, un par de zapatos, un par de sandalias, un par de botas, right? So all of those work with the word par to mean a pair of. Okay, the next word, the next column are more words that you would see or use inside of a store. Almacén is a word for a general store. When in the book it says department store, and I think of department stores, I think of big things like Kohl's or big Target, for example. That really, almacén in most Spanish-speaking countries that I've been to, which is quite a few, almacén is more like just that little corner market where you would find a lot of everything, but it's not a big department store like we think of here. You won't find that in very many places, except in the big capitals of some South American or Spanish countries. So almacén is, you can go to almacén and buy food, you can buy batteries, you can buy lotto tickets, you can buy gum, you can buy sodas, you can maybe buy a rake and a garbage can, but it's just those little stores. In fact, this summer, when I was in McCammon, one of you is from McCammon, can't remember which one, I think that's Michaela. Anyway, there's a little, when we went through from McCammon to get to Pocatello, where our daughter was getting married, we stopped at some little mercado, little almacén on the side of the street. And we bought a garbage can, we bought food. Just so let me think of that's an almacén. Okay, next one, centro comercial, commercial center, shopping center, or a big mall. In some places they would call it shopping, and they're shopping. The shopping would be an abbreviation for the mall. Mercado, market, and usually mercado refers to an open air market. You've all seen the farmer's market, for example. That's really what a mercado is. So someone dice que vamos al mercado, they're going there to buy their fresh produce, their fresh bakery, and so it's more of an everyday store. You got to remember that a lot of places in Latin countries, refrigerated food is still not very common. So people, when they need bread, they go to a bakery and they'll buy their fresh bread every day. They'll buy their fresh vegetables, fresh meat, fresh produce, fresh dairy goods every single day, because it's still not very common to have refrigerators all over the place in people's houses. So they go to the mercado every day. Next one, la caja. Caja is a word for box. It means the box, but it's referring to the strong box or the register in which the money is kept, and also the whole checkout station. So if you're in a store and you're ready to go check out, you could say, ¿Dónde está la caja? Where's the register? Where do I check out at? That's the meaning of that box where you check out at. El precio, the price. El empleado, employee. The panorama has some words for dependiente and vendedor, which are also specifically the seller or the person who works there. Those are also words for the person you would ask for when you're ready to get some help. El cliente and la clienta. So that's a variation of an English word. Again, it comes from client, but because it's really an English word that's made its way into Spanish, they do change that for masculine and feminine. A lot of our words that end in E don't go to the feminine form with a, but this one does cliente and clienta. Rebaja, something is on sale, es una rebaja. The word bajar means to lower down, to go down. So that's a lower down price. El pago is a payment. El dinero, money. La tarjeta de crédito, credit card. Efectivo, el efectivo is cash. So dinero is money, but does not refer to bills or coins, right? It's just the idea of money. No tengo dinero. You don't have any money. That could be you don't have anything on your debit card or your credit card, or you don't have anything in your wallet. So no tengo dinero is just kind of in general for money. Efectivo is cash. And so you'll see something that says solo se acepta efectivo, only cash accepted. So efectivo means cash. Comprar, to buy, a regular AR verb. Pagar, to pay, a regular AR verb. Notice that we said el pago is payment and pagar is to pay. So that's the noun form of that verb. Cobrar, to charge. So you could say to somebody, ¿cuánto cobra para arreglarme los zapatos? How much do you charge to fix my shoes? So cobrar, to charge. Costar is O to UE stem changing. So to cost. Mostly you're going to use that in cuánto cuesta. So you go to a store, you see something, cuánto cuesta, how much does it cost? I will give you a warning from firsthand experience. You don't want to use that verb in other conjugations except for third person, singular or plural. I made the mistake of asking a lady once, ¿cuánto cuestas? How much do you cost? And that has the wrong connotation to it. So, ¿cuánto cuesta a thing? How much does this thing cost? Gastar, to spend. Also has a connotation to waste, but gastar. So you could say, yo no puedo gastar mi dinero hoy. I can't spend my money today. Okay, we have tarjeta de crédito. We also have tarjeta de débito. And you can imagine that's kind of a newer concept. Tarjeta de débito. Regatear means to bargain. And just a culture note here, you want to know when it's okay to bargain and when it's not okay to bargain. It's very common, especially in informal, open air type settings, to try to negotiate with somebody, try to get them down. Some people will just expect that, but usually in a store, if there's a price that's written down, there usually is not a lot of bargaining going on. So just culturally, be aware before you start trying to get the price down. That is acceptable. Vender, to sell. So vender, to sell, comprar, to buy. Hacer juego con. Hacer juego con, so juego means game, but in this case, it is to make a match with. So, yo quiero una camisa para hacer juego con mis pantalones, right? So I need a shirt that makes a match with my pants. So I'm looking for something that goes together. So hacer juego con. And it's not really used like I, it's more like esta camisa hace juego con el pantalón. And then llevar, llevar means to wear, and also to carry out, to take something away. In fact, when you get takeout food in Spanish, it says comida para llevar, comida, food to take out, to take away with yourself. But it also means to wear. So hoy yo estoy llevando mi camiseta gris y otra camiseta verde. So I'm wearing it, but it also means to take something away. And the last one, last verb, usar. Usar, to use, regular verb. Yo uso, tú usas, usted, ella usa, nosotros usamos, etc. Okay, so you got some vocabulary here having to do with different kinds of clothing, as well as words will help you in your ir de compras. Okay, on page 176, página 176, están muchos adjetivos, incluso los colores. So you can see I went through all that effort to make each letter a different color. So we have basic colors, we'll go over those, and there are also some variaciones lexicas, some different words that will be used in different colors, in different countries for colors. The big thing about colors is they're adjectives. And so like most adjectives, they change in gender and in number. So if the base word, so like if someone says, what's your favorite color? You would always say amarillo, amarillo. You wouldn't say amarilla because the color yellow is amarillo, but something that's feminine can be amarilla, but the color yellow is amarillo. So if the base word ends in O, then we'll also change to A for feminine when it's used to describe a feminine object. So amarillo, yes. Verde, no, does not change for masculine, feminine. Rojo, sí. Azul, no. Naranja, no. Naranja is the base form of that is feminine. And it's because that's the word for the fruit, the orange, the fruit, orange fruit. The name for that is naranja. So there's naranjo is actually the word for an orange tree. Rosado for pink ends in O, so can also end in A. Negro también. Marrón, also some countries use café. Café is a word for coffee. And so the color of coffee is also a way of saying brown. That changes in some different countries. Blanco, yes, changes from masculine and feminine. Gris, no. And morado is a form of purple. And also, so if it ends in O in this chart, it's also going to end in A, which means it will change for masculine and feminine. And then all of these will change for singular or plural by adding an S to the end. Or, remember some of the rules, if it ends in a consonant, you're going to add ES at the end. So here we have una casa amarilla, right? So all those things are singular and feminine. Una casa amarilla. We'll make them plural. Unas casas amarillas. Now let's make it masculine. Un auto amarillo. And masculine and plural, unos autos amarillos. Okay, now look at blue. Blue does not change for masculine and feminine. We have el vestido azul. Make it plural, los vestidos azules. If it was a feminine word, la casa azul, las casas azules. So it's not changing for masculine and feminine, but it is changing for singular and plural. Now we have some adjectives down here, and all these adjectives will follow the exact same rule except for one. I have my exception here, but let's go through those. Barato, barata, means cheap, as in inexpensive. Bueno, buena. Cada. Cada is the word for each, and we'll come back to that one in a second. Caro, cara, mean expensive. Corto, or corta, means short. Okay, so something short in length. Quiero una falda corta. I want a short skirt. O quiero unos pantalones cortos, right? We just said that, cortos. Elegante, word for fancy or elegant. Hermoso, hermosa, beautiful. Largo, larga. Loco, loca, crazy. So quiero una camisa loca. Looking for a crazy shirt. Nuevo, nueva. Otro, otra, other or another. Pobre, estudiantes son pobres. And rico or rica. Okay, so that refers to a person who's rich. Also refers to rich food. Like if you go get that really delicious dessert, it's like really, really rich, you would use that same word. So all these adjectives, except for cada, are going to change for plural. And the reason why is because cada means each. And the concept of each is intrinsically singular. If I say each one of you, right, that means that's referring to one person. And so the verb becomes singular as well. Cada uno de ustedes es un estudiante. Sometimes in English we get lazy. We'll say each one of you are a student. Well, that's grammatically incorrect in English too, because each is singular. So each one of you is a student. Cada uno de mis libros es negro. Okay, tengo dos libros. Cada uno es negro. Each one is black. So cada does not change for masculine and feminine, and it does not change for singular plural because it can only ever be singular. And the verb every single time is singular. Notice in my example at the bottom, cada una de las camisas. You're going to get tripped up sometimes because you see camisas, and that's plural. But it's cada and una are the two subjects, right? So anyway, cada una es roja. De las camisas is really just this parenthetical expression describing that, but the subject is singular. Okay, so that's really it. I don't have a whole lot to go through because I vocabulated in the book, and I just want you to hear how it's explained and maybe I'll give you some tips on it. Here's just a real quick lesson, 3 questions only. I want you to just get a little bit of practice in changing the gender and number of these nouns and adjectives. So some shirts are expensive, using forms of these 4 words. So what would you say for some shirts are expensive? Unas camisas son caras, ¿verdad? So remember, unas, even though when it's plural, it means some. So it's not that's the plural word. Camisas is the plural, so that's the plural noun. So son is third person plural, and then camisas is plural and feminine, so caras has to be the same thing. Next one, some shirts are blue. Using those 4 words or the forms of them, how would you say some shirts are blue? I'm so sorry. It's supposed to say suits. So, unos trajes son azules. And I'm sorry, I'll go back and fix that on the PowerPoint. But so either unas camisas son azules or unos trajes son azules. Next one, some skirts are green and pink. Using un, falda, ser, verde, y rosado. And look at how you're going to change those. And the answer would be, unas faldas son verdes y rosadas. So verdes is only going to change for singular plural, but rosadas will change for feminine as well, because faldas is feminine. Okay, so sorry about the little mix up there on the last slide. I'm not going to go back and record that because I want to get this out to you. So look through all these vocabulary, look at the concept of the adjectives, make sure you understand it, and let me know how I can help. Thanks, guys. See you.